Good morning. Okay, so today we are going to take it a little bit easy, kind of. We're going to be working into back bends today. So I have a strap. I also grabbed a towel and two blocks. A towel you can just use a blanket or anything that you can just keep under your knees because we're going to be in a low lunge for a little while. So if you have sensitive knees or anything, go ahead and grab it. All right, so we're going to start off in easy pose, seated position. Also, good morning. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Um, so again, we're going to start off in easy pose. So just sitting cross-legged. If you want, you can sit on top of that blanket or even your towel, a block, whatever is going to feel good. If easy pose doesn't feel good in your body this morning. So you can move any flesh out of the way, sit from side to side. And then you can bring your hands on top of your knees. Now your palms can be palms face up or palms face down. It's your choice. And we're going to try to bring our shoulders right over our hips. So this may be we begin to rock forward, back, and side to side, just to gain an understanding this morning of where we're at in space. And then we'll gently draw our shoulders right back over our hips when we found that center point. Bring our chin up onto the horizon and relax down through your shoulders. Begin to unclench your jaw. And your eyes can be opened or closed, it's your choice. Begin to notice the surface underneath you, just your connection to the mat. As you sink your weight into the mat, can you lift up a little bit taller through your spine? Let's begin to become aware of our breath. So wherever you are, exhale completely. And let's take a full deep inhale through our nose. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale, gently release out through your mouth. Don't be afraid to make any noise. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling, sitting up nice and tall. And then exhale out through your mouth. Now notice where you were breathing into. So maybe we were breathing into our chest this morning, maybe our side body. Let's try to send our breath all the way down into our belly, almost past our belly button. Try to channel that breath all the way down and take a few more breaths just like that on your own. So exhaling first wherever you are and begin to inhale through your nose. Big, deep belly breath. And then exhale, completely release. So again, take 2 or 3 more of these on your own. Really focusing on pulling that breath down into your belly, allowing your diaphragm to completely expand. And then exhale, completely release. Pull that belly button in towards your spine. We're just trying to get any stale air out from yesterday. When you've completed those couple rounds of breath, let's go ahead, blink our eyes open here. Let's inhale, arm sweep up overhead. Take that full deep inhale breath. Exhale, HA, ha. Bring your hands down through heart center. Bow your head, gaze at your fingertips. Go ahead, set an intention for your day, your practice, even your weekend, or maybe your week. This could be anything, maybe just finding ease, or noticing the moments in between, taking time to slow down. When you've set that intention, let's go ahead, bring our hands back to the tops of our knees. Go ahead, hop off whatever you are sitting on, if you're sitting on a block or a towel or blanket. We're going to take some seated circles. So again, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to begin by inhaling, sweeping our heart forward. And then exhale, rounding our spine, pulling our belly button in towards our spine. And then an inhale again will take you forward. So there's no real wrong way of doing this. You can make big circles, small circles. It's up to you. And your eyes can be opened or closed. Maybe closing the eyes, turning inward, and just kind of experiencing these little bit of movements this morning. Maybe taking a time for a body scan. Just a few more rounds here. And then when you've reached center again, let's go ahead and switch directions. So again, inhale, excuse me, reaching forward, and exhale, rounding back. Maybe you begin to take a little cat-cow motion, lifting your chin on the inhale, and then pulling your chin to chest on the exhale. So inhale, reaching that belly out, gaze forward. Exhale, chin to chest, belly button towards spine. Or you can stay neutral, it's your choice. Just a few more rounds. We'll all gently come back through center again, finding that center point, our shoulders right over our hips, chin onto the horizon. Now we're going to take a little bit of shoulder movements here. So this is where our strap can come in handy. If you don't have a strap, you can also use a towel, a shirt, a jacket, whatever you can extend your arms with. So if you have a jacket, just grab the arms. The front can be down in front of you. All right, so let's bring our arms out here. I'm going to wrap my hands around the strap. So my knuckles are reaching forward and my hands are at about shoulder height. I'm going to draw my shoulders and my arms back into the socket. On an inhale, I'm going to lift my arms up towards the sky, maybe gaze lifts with it. You can stay here, or exhale, relax your shoulders and allow your arms to drop down behind you very gently. Gently come back through center, arms reaching up overhead. And then they'll gently come forward, knuckles reaching down towards the floor. So you want to keep the strap pretty tight here, but your arms wide enough so you can gently drop your arms back behind you. So let's add some breath in with that. So an inhale will bring us up as we sit up, arms reach up to the sky, and an exhale will take you down and back. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, they come forward and down, trying to keep our shoulders stacked right over our hips here. And if you notice going all the way back behind you doesn't feel good, that's okay. Just stop right at the top and take one breath at the top. Take a few more rounds on your own, very slowly with control. And then again, trying to sync our breath up with that movement. Last round, wherever you are. Beautiful. We'll all come forward. You can release that strap for now. Let's take our arms up over our head. And then we're going to grab our left wrist with our right hand, press our palm up towards the sky, and then gently take our left fingertips over to the right side of our mat. Let's try to open our chest, lift our gaze towards the sky if that's okay on your neck. Breathe. Sink down through your sitting bones. And we'll gently come back through center, switch your grip. The left hand is grabbing our right wrist. Inhale, palm of our right hand reaches up towards the sky. Draw your shoulders back and down. Exhale, reach those right fingertips over to the left. And then lifting our chest, maybe shifting our gaze up towards the sky. And we'll gently release. So we're going to take a little bit of a neck stretch here. So you can either leave your left palm on your thigh here, palm face up, or you can sit on your hand. right underneath your left glute. Our right hand is going to come up and over, right fingertips to our left ear. Then we're going to gently bring our right ear to right shoulder. Eyes can be opened or closed here. If you'd like, just gently remove that pressure and then bow your head towards your right knee. Getting a nice stretch down the back left side of your neck. Gently release that pressure on your head. And then we'll switch hands. Again, right hand can be palm face up on your thigh, or you can sit on your fingertips. Left hand comes up and over, left fingertips to our right ear. Left ear to the left shoulder. You don't need that much pressure on your hand here. Be very gentle. Again, eyes can be open or closed. And then gently bow your head to the left. We'll gently come back through center. Release your left hand, release your right. We'll go ahead, kick our legs out in front of us. Give them a nice little shake. You can roll your legs, opening your toes out toward the edges of your mat, and then rolling them inward, pointing towards each other. Taking any ankle circles, opening and closing your toes. Just trying to wake up your feet this morning. If you want to do the same with your wrists, go ahead, bring your hands out in front of you. Take a few little wrist rolls. Open and close your hands. And when you're ready, gently sweep your legs around to either side, coming into a tabletop position. So this is where your blanket or towel can come in handy. I'm going to take mine across the center of my mat. If you are going to leave this, real quick, if you are going to leave this towel on your mat or your blanket on your mat, you want to make sure that when you come down into, say, a cobra pose, you want this towel just underneath your low ribs, and then the bottom part just in the middle of your thighs. So we just don't want the towel right on your hips, because that's going to hurt or pinch your low back if you come down into a back bend. So you can actually leave the towel here as long as you do your practice today. All right, so we're going to bring our knees right underneath our hips, hands right underneath our shoulders, and we're going to inhale, take a few cat-cow. So inhale to cow, gaze lift, hips lift, and then exhale, pulling that belly button to spine, rounding the back, taking it into cat. So taking your time with the movements, focusing on getting that spinal movement, not just your head up and down. If you'd like, you can begin to take any organic movement that you'd like, maybe shifting your hips from side to side, taking some little torso circles here. Maybe you press back to child's pose, roll forward, reach your heart forward, and then sit back, taking a few cat-cows. Just a few more rounds wherever you are. And when you're ready, we'll all come back to that neutral spine. Let's go ahead, walk our hands out one palm's length from where they're at right now. Tuck your toes, take a deep inhale breath, and then exhale, send your hips up and back. Coming into our first downward facing dog of the day. Go ahead, walk out your feet. You can shift your hips. You can even pivot on your feet, rocking your hips from side to side. Take any movement that's going to feel good this morning, warming up the backs of your legs, your arms, your spine, your shoulders. You can also shake your head yes and no. Wherever you are, let's try to shift our gaze back behind us instead of gazing straight down at our mat. All right, let's all come back clear center. Let's make sure that our fingertips are spread wide, but not too wide. You don't need to be a big spread out grip, but we're pressing through all of our fingers, knuckles, and palms. We're not just dumping our weight into our wrists here. Take a slight bend to your knees, and then you can lift your heels up off the mat. They don't have to be glued down. Hips are reaching higher to the sky with that little bend in our knees. And then as we lengthen through our spine, gaze is towards our feet. All 10 toes should be facing forward here, and you can't see your heels because our ankles are hiding them. Let's go ahead, take a deep inhale, come up onto our toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. Let's inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Tadasana, arms can reach up overhead here. And then exhale, hands come down by our side. One more time, inhale, arms reach up overhead. This time, option to take your hands behind you. Exhale, press your hips forward, come back. Small back bend here. Inhale will reach us up, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands to shins, slight bend in your knees. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step back, high or low plank. I'm gonna lower my knees and then lower all the way down to my belly. So again, making sure if you have that towel here or your blanket that it's in the correct position when you lower down into your low back bends. So my hands are underneath my shoulders. I'm going to drag the heels of my hands back by my low ribs. Elbows are going to pull in as we inhale, lift up, low cobra. Exhale, release. Let's take one more. Inhale. Exhale, release. You can tuck your toes. We'll press back into our downward facing dog. Go ahead, walk out your dog here. So at any point in time, you can always skip the vinyasas. You can just press back into a downward facing dog. You can take a low cobra or an upward facing dog. It's your choice. And then at any point in time, you can always come down into child's pose or shavasana. Listen to your body and know the difference between pain and stretching. If something doesn't feel good, you can always back out. Come on down to your mat into a child's pose or just lay on your back in shavasana. All right, coming through Sun A one more time. Let's inhale, come high up onto our toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Arms reach up. Exhale, cactus, open your arms, lift your chest, shift your gaze up. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, high or low plank. It's your choice. Take an inhale at the top. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, lift up, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, we'll all reach back in downward facing dog. Beautiful work. All right, so let's gently shift our knees forward down to the earth. We can rock our hips from side to side here. And then we're going to gently step our right foot forward. So we're coming into a low lunge. Now kind of readjust your stance here. You can have like a railroad track, so your feet and your knee are kind of staggered here for a wider foundation. And we're going to go ahead, inhale, lift up. Arms reach up overhead, and then they'll come down to our hips. So let's try to square our hips off towards the front of our mat. So maybe drawing this right knee or right leg back into the hip joint here. So we're reaching forward. Option to grab your blocks and bring them over to this right side here. Just going to take a little side bend. Arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, hands come to our ribs now. So you feel like if your ribs are pointing out in front of you. So we're already in this little back bend here. So again, let's draw our shoulders over our hips. Hip points are reaching forward. And we're going to lace our low ribs down, engaging our core and pulling everything in together. Arms reach up again. Lift up out of your hips, but maintaining that straight spine. Let's bring our right hand to our hip or to our block. Inhale, left fingertips reach up, and then exhale, left fingertips over to the right side. Again, you can reach down for your block or to the floor. And then let's try to, again, shift our gaze. So maybe lifting and opening our chest, bringing that right shoulder back in line, and then maybe shifting our gaze up towards the sky. My left fingertips are still reaching over to the right side of my mat. Send your breath down your left side body. Don't hold your breath here. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, lift up. Arms reach up overhead. Left hand to left hip, right fingertips over to the left side. So feeling a deep stretch down the outside of our right glute, right thigh. Don't tip too far over. You might fall over. And then again, opening up our chest, gazing straight forward, or maybe shifting your gaze to the sky. It's a little bit of a balance challenge if you're looking up at the sky. Pull that low belly in, re-engage your core, lift up out of your hips. And then we'll all inhale, lift up, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, we're gonna take our hands to frame our front foot, just taking it into a little hamstring opener. If you've taken my class, you've done this before. So let's take our hands up onto our cupcake fingers or onto our fingertips. Inhale, heart reaches forward. And then exhale, let's sit our hips back. You can lift your toes up off the earth. So an inhale, we'll walk your hands forward. It's okay if your knee goes past your ankle here. That's fine. And then sit back. You can hold a pose longer if you'd like. Maybe reaching forward feels good, or sitting back even, maybe keeping those toes on the earth. Or you can lift them up if you want a deeper stretch. Let's draw our hips right over our knees. Our right toes are lifting up, right leg is straight. You can take your left hand and grab the outside of your right foot. As you begin to send your hips back, you can hinge forward. It's a nice deep heel stretch. So you're gonna hear a siren and then a bunch of dogs bark. Oh, the sounds of nature. Sorry for all the noise. That's the downside of living in a big city. If you'd like a deep quad stretch on the left-hand side, you can go ahead, shift forward, stack your right knee over your right ankle, lift up, and you can reach back with your left hand, maybe, or with your strap, and take it into a nice little quad stretch. But just notice if it begins to hurt, go ahead, gently back out. Again, this is also a little balance challenge because you no longer have that little kickstand behind you holding you up. When you've had enough, gently release. And we'll all meet forward. If you want to take one more little round, you can. We'll all meet back at the top of our mat. Then we're going to inhale, arms reach up. Hands come to our hips, again, squaring our hips off. And then we're going to gently pull our ribs again in. Lace your ribs in, engage your core. Bring the shoulders right over your hips. Arms reach up. So we're going to inhale, lift up out of our hips, lengthen your spine. And then begin to come back, but keeping those low ribs laced in as you lift and lengthen your spine rather than crunching in that low back. Really try to focus and pull those low ribs in as you lift and lengthen. And then when you're excuse me, and then when you're ready, gently begin to shift your hips forward, reaching your fingertips back. Maybe you come into a deeper back bend. You can always bring your hands to your low back. Gaze is up at the sky. And then gently inhale, come forward. Hands come to the floor, framing our front right foot. Tuck your back left toes, lift that left knee up off the earth. Go ahead, spin this right here, left heel down. As we inhale, reach up to warrior two. I'm a little tongue-tied and slow today. I apologize. Arms reach out onto the horizon, and let's relax our shoulders. Maybe taking a soft bend in our arms. Sink a little bit deeper. So if you need to walk your back heel out, you can. Maybe our front thigh is working parallel to the earth today, maybe not. Let's draw our shoulders again right back over our hips. So if it feels like you're reaching forward, you probably are. Again, sinking a little bit deeper, relax those shoulders. And inhale will take us forward. Flip your palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Option to straighten that front leg here if you'd like. Reverse triangle. Rebend that front knee. Hands come onto the horizon, and then they cartwheel down, framing this front right foot. Back left toes turn forward. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Option to take a vinyasa, or you can press back into a downward facing dog. It's your choice. We'll all meet back in our downward facing dog. All right, beautiful. Go ahead, take any other movement in your downward facing dog. And then gently bringing those knees back down to the earth. And then this time, let's step our left foot forward. So again, staggering your foot and your knee so you have a wider foundation. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down by our side or to our hips. Again, option to grab your block. This time, bring it to the left side of your mat. So our hip points are squared forward. And then again, hands come to our low ribs. Try to lace them down. Feel yourself rocking forward as you hug everything in and together in your core. Shoulders are right over your hips. Arms reach up. Left hand to left hip or to your block as you begin to reach your right fingertips over to the left side. Option to open up your chest, pull this right arm back. You can shift your gaze to the sky. That feels okay on your neck. And then again, really pressing into your hips, lifting yourself up, and then lengthening and reaching, sending your breath down your right side body. And then we'll all inhale, come back through center. Arms reach up. And then our right hand to right hip. Again, readjusting, hip squared forward, core engaged, lacing those low ribs down. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, left fingertips over to the right. Feeling a nice deep stretch down our left glute, down our left thigh. And then again, maybe lifting our chest, shifting our gaze up. Press through your knee and foot, lift out of your hips, re-extend, maybe exhale, reach a little bit farther over to the right. And trying to balance here, trying not to tip over. And then we'll all inhale, come back through center, arms reach up, exhale, hands come down, framing this front left foot. And then again, inhale will shift you forward, exhale will sit you back, coming into this little half split hamstring stretch. We really want to try to reach our hips back equally behind us. So maybe you draw this knee back a little bit so it's right underneath your hip. Then an inhale, again, will bring you forward, and an exhale will take you back. And if you want that deeper hamstring stretch today, set your hips back. Try to bring that knee right underneath your hip as best you can. Then you can lift these left toes up off the earth. Left hand can come to the floor of the block. Right hand reaches to the outside of your left foot. Begin to Shift your hips back as you hinge forward. Just be mindful of your knee, and anytime we're straightening it, just to keep a micro bend in your knee so you're not hyperextending. Sending your breath wherever you feel a little bit of tension. So maybe if you're in this hamstring stretch, try to channel your breath down into your heel. And then when you exhale, maybe you sink a little bit deeper, finding a little bit of ease in the pose. And you can begin to shift forward and back again. If you want that little quad stretch, or that big quad stretch, I should say, you can hinge forward. Left knee is stacked over left ankle. Bend your right knee. You can reach back with your right hand or your strap. Again, chest and hips are reaching forward. Pull the low belly in, lift up. Just a couple more rounds here. So if you're holding any stretches, go ahead and take a few more rounds of movement, shifting forward and back. If you had that back foot, gently release. Try not to swing it back or kick it back. And then we'll all come back through center. This left knee is stacked over our left ankle. Arms reach up overhead. And then again, working our way up from our foundation, really rooting into our left foot and our knee. Taking this into a back bend here. Hips are squared forward. Low ribs laced down. Really engage the core. You can feel yourself roll forward and engage when you pull those low ribs in and down. Arms reach up. Next, inhale, press into your foundation as you lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, begin to reach up and back, still keeping those low ribs in. Not going to your full range of motion yet. We're just trying to lift up out of our hips so we don't pinch our low back by really engaging our front side. And then when you're ready, you can gently begin to shift your hips forward, come back, lifting and lengthening still. Hands can come to your low back. Fingertips are reaching behind you. And we'll inhale, come back through center, strong core. Exhale, hands come to frame this front foot here. Let's go ahead, tuck our back right toes, lift our back right knee up off the earth. Right heel spins down, toes are facing towards 2 o'clock. As we inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up, warrior two. So again, relaxing through our shoulders, roll them back and down. Maybe soften through these elbows. Hands are reaching out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink low. Maybe this back heel works out back behind you, sinking your hips a little bit deeper. Front thighs working parallel to the earth. Draw your shoulders right back over your hips. Again, relax them down. Unclench your jaw. Reconnect with your breath. When you're ready, you can take an inhale, glide forward. Flip your palm, exhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand to the back leg. You take a half bind, whatever you'd like. Left fingertips reaching to the back of our mat. Option to straighten this front leg. Again, being mindful to keep a micro bend in your knee. Option to lift your chest. Gaze comes to the sky. And then we'll all inhale, come back, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame this front left foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Take a vinyasa, or you can press back into a downward facing dog. It's your choice. We'll all meet in our downward facing dog, and you can go ahead, take any movement that you'd like. You can come down into child's pose or a tabletop. But if you'd like, and you want to get a little bit of core in and a little bit of back bending, you can go ahead, stay up here with me in our down dog. When you're ready, we're going to step our feet together at the back of our mat. Inhale, right leg comes high. When you're ready, take another deep inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, right knee to right elbow, high plank. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee to nose, tuck it in. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, cross it over, right knee to left elbow, breathe. Inhale, reach it back. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Go ahead, take a few knee circles here. Reopen that knee, so our knee is bent. And then if you'd like, gently make your way into a wild thing. I'm going to try to not fall in the pool right now, a little close to the edge. So in our wild thing, lift through your hips, open up your chest, and then reach that right hand forward. All 10 toes are on the mat. Breathe. When you're ready to come over, soften through your left knee, right hand plants, right leg lifts. Beautiful. Gently drop that right knee down, or sorry, your right foot down by your left foot. And then we'll take the other side. So when you're ready, inhale, left knee or left foot reaches high. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, hinge forward. Inhale, reach it up. Knee to nose, hug it in. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, twist and cross. Left knee to right elbow, breathe. Inhale, lift it up. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Take a knee circle. And then when you're ready, left toes come to the right edge of our mat. Left fingertips reach towards the sky and then forward. All 10 toes are on the mat. Rooting and lifting through your hips, opening up your chest. You can shift your gaze to the sky. Breathe. When you're ready, soften through your right leg. Left leg comes up to the sky. Your left hand plants. Gently come back to our downward facing dog here. Breathe. Let's take a breath together wherever you are. So let's all meet back in our down dog. Exhale wherever you're at. Take a full deep inhale through your nose. And then exhale, H-A-ha. Beautiful. So let's all inhale, come high up onto our toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. Take your feet out as wide as your mat and gently begin to hinge forward, allowing your spine to lengthen towards the floor. So we're just making our way into our forward fold here. Soften through your knees. Maybe your belly is working towards your thighs. If you'd like, you can bring a block underneath your hands or 2 blocks. You can grab opposite elbows. You can take your peace fingers to your big toes, maybe to hinge forward a little bit more, elbows pulling out to the side. You can slip your hands underneath your feet. So your soles of your feet and the palms of your hands are connected. The backs of your hands are on the earth. Whatever is going to feel good this morning. And if you'd like, you can begin to find a little bit of movement, maybe rocking from side to side, taking little figure eights. Wherever you are, try to shift your gaze directly back behind you to the end of your mat. Allow your neck to relax. Allow your head to relax. So the crown of your head is trying to kiss your mat here. And still taking that soft bend in your knees, maybe you begin to draw your weight to the balls of your feet here. Sending your hips a little higher and getting a deeper stretch down the back sides of both legs. A few more rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to gently all lift up to standing very slowly, one vertebra at a time. So we lift all the way up. Let's bring our feet back together, hip width distance. That's 2 fists. And we're going to inhale, arms reach up overhead. Let's come up onto our tippy toes. Exhale, we're going to slowly lower down into our chair. You can either keep your heels lifted or you could take your heels down towards the earth. Hands are coming through heart center as we sink low into our chair. Again, heels can stay lifted or you can bring them down to the earth. If your heels are lifted with me, let's try to keep them high as we sink lower. Maybe arms reach out in front of us. Breathe. And we're all inhale, lift back up, heels come to the earth. Exhale, just sit into our chair. This time, both heels are on the earth. Let's bring our hands to our hips, take your weight into your right foot, and let's take a big step back with our left. We're coming into this warrior one pose. So again, in our warrior one, we want our hips squared to the front of our mat. So drawing this right thigh bone back into the hip socket here. And then again, lacing those low ribs down, shoulders over our hips, core is engaged. Arms reach up. Exhale. Pull those arms back into the socket. Breathe and lift. Readjust your stance if you need to, working that front thigh to parallel. Hold here. Then when you're ready, we're going to take it into a back bend. So you'll have some options along the way. You can bring your hands to your low back if you'd like. Or you can reach up with me when you're ready. Let's inhale, lift and lengthen. Low ribs are pulling down. And then when you're ready, begin to reach yourself back. Don't hold your breath. Breathe here. Again, low ribs are lacing down. And then when you're ready, you can begin to shift your hips forward, or you can stay here. If you'd like, you can add a little heel lift in the front leg. So you reach your hips back, fingertips reaching back. Low belly is pulling in. And then we'll all inhale, come back through center. Cartwheel our hands down, framing this front right foot. Heel toe it to center. And let's take a big step in with our back left. So if your towel gets in the way, you can go ahead and move it. We're coming into a pyramid pose. So let's set up first. I have my blocks on either side of my right foot. And let's just gently press through both feet as we inhale, lift up. Roll slowly with your spine. Now, again, hips squared forward. Readjust your stance if you need. All I ask is that you keep this back heel on the earth when you hinge forward. That's it. And then keep a micro bend in your knee. Option here, you can take a reverse namaste, lift your chest. Hands are back behind you. You can take your hands onto your hips or reach your hands up over your head. Wherever you are, let's inhale, lift through our chest. Exhale, hinge from our hips, lead with our heart. Hands can come down to frame this foot. Fingertips can be behind you or even to the top of your foot. Maybe palms together, pointing. Allow your spine to round, maybe bringing your forehead close to your knee. And then again, pulling this right leg back into the hip socket. Left hip is rolling forward here. Again, breathing down the back left side of our leg. Shift your gaze to your back left foot. And then when you're ready, begin to shift your weight into your right foot, coming up onto the ball of your left, and gently step your left foot forward to meet your right. Hinge forward into a forward fold just for a moment. Maybe you bend and straighten your knees, rocking your hips from side to side. And then we'll all gently make our way up to standing. So we're coming into our peak pose. I'm going to move my towel here. It's kind of hard to balance on pavers. Would not recommend doing yoga on bricks. So we're coming into King Dancer today. So we're going to root down through our left foot first. So we're going to lift up all 5 toes on our left foot, spread them wide, and then really grip your foot down and engaging your arch. So shifting our weight to the left, you might feel that left hip shoot out to the side. Pull the left hip in, engage the kneecap. So lift it up towards your thigh. Thigh should be hard. And then you can come up onto the ball of your right foot. So again, engaging your core, pulling those low ribs down. Let's go ahead, take our right hand out by our side. Left hand can lift towards the sky. When you're ready, you can reach back, grabbing for the inner ankle or the inner arch or even the lower leg here. Now, you can grab a strap and loop it around your foot. Maybe this is our stretch today. You can come over to a wall, take your hand out on the wall, maybe working on balance today. Wherever you are, take the pose and honor your body for today. So, if you're coming into the full King Dancer, we're going to pull our knees in together. When you're ready, let's inhale, lift up out of our hips, just like we've been practicing. Exhale, begin to kick. Kick your right foot into your hand as hard as you can. Reach and kick. The more you kick, the easier it gets. And when you can't kick anymore, that's when your body will come parallel with the mat. Relax your shoulder. Find your drishti and soft bend through your left knee so we're not hyperextending. Allow your right shoulder to relax. Left leg is strong. Right toes are reaching up. They might reach over your head someday. And then when you're ready to come back, gently hinge back up, knees together. Gently release this right foot. Go ahead, shift your weight into your right foot and wiggle out your left. When you're ready, let's inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Take a vinyasa, or you can press back into a downward facing dog. It's your choice. We'll all meet back in a downward facing dog. All right, when you're ready, let's inhale, come high up onto our toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. We'll inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Arms reach up, and then maybe coming back up onto those tippy toes here. If you'd like, you can keep those heels high as we sink back into our chair pose, or you can take your heels down to the earth. Hands can come through heart center. Keeping the heels high. Breathe. Knees are hugging in equally. Shoulders over hips. You got it. Heels high, heels high. And then take those heels down to the earth. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale again, sink low into your chair. Heels are on the earth. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, sink with your hips. Tailbone tucked under, low belly pulled in. Hands can come to our hips here. Let's take our weight into our left foot. Come up onto the ball of our right. Big, deep step back. Make your way into our warrior one pose. So again, hips squared to the front. Readjust your foot in the back if you need to and stagger your feet here. So, hips squared forward, pulling my low belly in, lace my low ribs down and shoulders right over my hips. My arms are going to reach up to the sky. Option to stay here, working on this warrior one pose. Or if you'd like, again, lacing those low ribs in. We're going to inhale, lift up out of our hips. Exhale, reach back, pulling our low belly in. Lifting and lengthening through our upper spine. And then when you're ready, you can begin to shift your hips forward. Maybe lift this left heel. Fingertips reaching back behind you. Gaze up towards the sky. Low belly pulled in. When you're ready, we'll inhale, come back through center. Exhale, forward fold. Turning on our back toes. Back right toes are turning forward. And then setting up for our pyramid. So step your right foot in, making sure this heel is on the earth. Let's press through both feet as we inhale, slowly reach up. And then again, that's all we've been doing today is squaring our hips forward. So pulling your left hip back, right hip rolls forward. Woo, find your balance. And then when you're ready, you can take that reverse namaste, even a shoulder rinse. Or you can bring your hands to your hips or over your head. Wherever you are, inhale, lift and lengthen through your chest. Exhale, hinge from your hips. So you lead forward with your heart. Hands can come to the blocks of floor or stay behind you. And all 10 toes are working forward. Left hip is pulling back. Right hip is rolling forward. Allow your spine to round, maybe bringing your forehead to your knee or close to your knee. Wherever you are, shift your gaze back to the back of your mat or your back foot. Allow your spine to lengthen. Allow your neck to rest. Send your breath down your left leg. Then when you're ready, begin to shift your weight into your left foot, bend through your left leg, and then step your right foot up to meet your left. All right, gently roll forward, come up. We're gonna take our King Dancer on our right. So shifting our weight to our right foot. Let's lift up all 5 toes on the right, spread them wide, really grip through your foot, engage the arch. Now you felt that right hip shoot out probably. Pull it in, center everything, and then engage the knee. Thigh is hard. Pull the low belly in, lace the low ribs down, shoulders over hips. Come up onto the ball of your left foot. Left hand reaches out, palm is facing up. We can raise our right hand. I forgot what a hand was called. And then when you're ready, gently drop your left hand back behind you. Now you want to make sure your wrist is facing out. Go ahead, pick up the inner arch, the inner leg, or the inner ankle. Let's bring our knees together. And again, you can stay here. Maybe this is our stretch today, coming to a wall or a chair. When you're ready, inhale, lift up out of your hips, root down through your right foot, and then exhale, begin to kick your left foot into your left hand. Kick, 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 kicking as hard as you can, finding that big, beautiful, deep back bend. When you can't kick anymore, that's when your body is going to come parallel to the earth. Right fingertips reaching forward. Soften through your right knee. Find your drishti. Allow this left shoulder to relax and reach back behind you. Left toes are reaching up over your head. And our right leg is strong and straight, thigh working towards the back wall. Breathe and reach. When you're ready, come back up very slowly. Hinge. Ooh, finding your balance. And then gently release that left leg. Shift onto your left foot. Give your right leg a break. And then we have an option for one last vinyasa. So you want to take it now. Let's go ahead. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, step back, take a vinyasa, or skip it and come to downward facing dog. Wherever you are, let's all meet in our child's pose here. You can take your big toes to touch, knees out wide. Press your hips back towards your heels here. And then option, you can bring a block underneath your head. Maybe you take this blanket or towel in between your knees or in between your legs, so it'll give you a little bit of support behind you if your hips are lifting up off your heels. Forehead can come down to a block. Begin to return to your intention and maybe sending your breath into your lower back. So really breathing into your lower back, allowing each vertebrae to expand and lengthen. You can roll out your wrist here, rock your head from side to side on the mat. Then when you're ready, let's begin to straighten our arms, pressing our palms into the earth, so making it an active child's pose. So I really want you to try to turn your armpits open to the sides and allow your chest to sink down to the floor. Forehead is working to the floor, so if you had a block, go ahead, remove your block underneath your forehead. And really allow your chest to melt down. Armpits are trying to open up to the sky. You can inhale, gently lift up. Exhale, take your hands over to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale over to the left. Again, reaching, trying to open our armpits up to the sky. I'm letting our chest melt down to the earth. And we'll come back through center. Option to stay here, or you can take your knees back to hip width distance. Reach your hands out in front of you, coming down puppy pose. Again, lifting your armpits up to the sky, allowing your chest to melt down. Maybe chin comes down to the earth. We're really trying to keep our hips over our knees here. Wherever you are, gently lift yourself back up. You can come into a tabletop, rock from side to side, and then we'll gently turn over onto our backs here. Going to make our way into a few bridges. So if you want, you can take a really relaxed version of bridge, or you can take the traditional bridge, and there's going to be an option for wheel. So let's scoot our bum up to our heels as much as we can and lower back down. Now, if you're taking this relaxed bridge, you can take your block and your blanket maybe, lift your hips and put that block right underneath your sacrum. So your sacrum is where your back flesh meets your bum flesh. So if it's too high up, you'll feel your butt hanging off the block, and if it's too far back, you'll feel a pinch in your low back. If you're sticking with me, we're going into a traditional bridge. So our feet are hip width distance, knees are reaching towards the sky. Our knees are hugging together as if there was a block there. Now you can reach your hands down by your sides, fingertips facing down towards the edge, or I like to take this little robot arm approach, fingertips reaching towards the sky. Really draw your shoulders underneath, or your shoulders underneath your back here. So roll under, lift your chest. When you're ready, press firmly through your feet, lift your hips to the sky. Our chest is rolling towards our chin, but they're not touching. Knees are squeezing together. Relax through your glutes. Try to press through your arms and your feet to lift your hips up. Breathe wherever you are. Gaze is straight up at the sky. Don't turn your neck. And then we'll gently release, come all the way back down. You can rock your hips from side to side. Now, option to take another bridge here, or you can come up into wheel. So we've been working on back bends all day. So I'm going to take my hands. If you've never done wheel before, I'd wait until you have a spot. So I'd take my hands right beside my ears. My fingertips are facing down towards my toes, so down towards the end of my mat. My elbows are hugging in together, but not too tight. My feet are hip width distance. When you're ready, same thing. We're going to inhale, lift up, press through your hands and feet. And then again, this is where that low rib engagement comes in. Can you try to pull those low ribs and lace them down, lifting your hips up towards the sky? Breathe. Really trying to lengthen and find that depth through your upper back here rather than pinching that low back. When you're ready to come back down, tuck your chin towards your chest. Gently find your way down to your shoulders and roll all the way down one vertebra at a time. If you're in bridge, you can come on down, shifting your hips from side to side. And then we'll all meet back at center. If you're in that restorative bridge, you can go ahead, take your legs up the wall, keeping that block right where it is. Feet are reaching towards the sky. If you have shoulder stand in your practice and you want to work on it right now, you can go ahead and take it. Just remember in shoulder stand to really roll your shoulders under, lift through your chest, and then hands are coming down by your side, lifting your hips up, and you want to be balancing on your shoulders, not on your neck. So keeping your gaze straight up at the sky, allow the cervical spine to stay curved. So you don't want your neck flat on the mat. That's not a good sign. Just keep those shoulders on the mat. Lift your hips up towards the sky. Try to draw your hips forward into view and then pull your toes back. It's really lifting and reaching. Again, gaze stays straight up at the sky. Don't turn your neck. If you're in shoulder stand, you can go ahead and go to a plow. If you're here with me in Viparita Karani or legs up the wall, you can take some movement with your legs. Maybe circle your ankles, open and close your toes. Plows, if you're in plow, make sure that your feet are touching the ground before you move your hands away from your low back. Then wherever you are, let's all meet back in legs up the wall. If you're in legs up the wall and have a block underneath you, go ahead, remove the block. Then we're all taken into happy baby. So grabbing for the outer edges of your feet, knees, thighs, legs, whatever. You can rock from side to side, maybe opening one leg and then the other. Then take any other final movements that you need. We didn't do much twisting today, so if you want to take it into a gentle twist, you can. Just remember to switch sides. If you're in any other asymmetrical poses, go ahead, switch to the other side. If you're in happy baby still, maybe you bring your knees into your chest. Take a few knee circles. Maybe rock from side to side, giving your spine a little massage. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and make your way into Shavasana. And since you have that towel or that blanket and you have pain in your low back, you can always roll your towel up, make it like a cylinder, and bring that cylinder right underneath your knees. That'll give a little relief to your low back. Maybe you need to make it a little bit bigger than mine, or you can put a pillow underneath that. You can bring your arms up over your head. Be a big star pose if you want. Allow your body to relax down into your surface. So letting gravity do the work here as you sink and melt down into your mat. Gently release tension in your jaw. Maybe pull that tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your eyelids, soften your gaze or close your eyes. Release any tension in your brow or in your face. Soften through your neck and shoulders as your fingertips gently curl in. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. So relax your spine, your upper back, mid back, and lower back down into the earth. You just feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. So relax your hips. Allow your feet to fall open from side to side. If you'd like, you can stay in Shavasana here today. No need to rush. Or if you'd like, you can begin to reach your arms above your head, point your toes, stretch your fingers, take one big morning stretch here. And then exhale, gently release. Roll onto your favorite side, cradling your head in your arm. And when you're ready, gently press yourself up to a seated position. Coming right back to where we started. Drawing our shoulders right over our hips, chin onto the horizon. Let's inhale, arms reach up overhead one last time. Exhale, hands come through heart center, bow to your fingertips. Come back to your intention, your thanks, or maybe let go of your intention that you set for your practice and set a new one for today. Thank you all so much for flowing along with me. It's always an honor, and I will see you next time. Namaste. Thanks, guys.